This season on Connecting Point, Republican and Mass Live Viewpoint columnist Ron Chimelis is going to be joining us on a monthly basis to talk about some of the many things he's writing and thinking about. Tonight, we'll begin by discussing an idea he's suggesting to try to get more people to go out and vote.
In the Springfield preliminary election, to 7%. I realize that you have a heavy favorite there, 7%. And my proposal was if you miss 4 elections of a certain level, mayor, president, whatever, you have to sit out the 5th. You were taken off the list because people don't really want something until they're denied it. And then all of a sudden it will matter to them. Maybe they'll participate. Won't happen.
But you brought up a fascinating point in that because so few people vote so many times in elections and primaries or off years especially, the politicians get kind of an out. They can cater to this very small slice of people who will vote and figure out what those people want to hear, and they don't serve the greater need.
It's a self-fulfilling problem. They know who will vote, they know who won't, they know who they can ignore with safety, and that's a very unfortunate thing, because those are the people who say, well, we're disenfranchised, they don't care. But because they don't vote, in a sense, they give the politicians a reason not to care. That doesn't make it right, but it makes it politically feasible. And if more people voted, it wouldn't be so easy to do that.
And you already mentioned, but you stressed the number in the column, and I hadn't thought of it this way. I knew the 7% number, and you feel, that's terrible. You said, look at it this way, 13 out of 14 voters didn't vote. I mean, that really is sad.
Yeah, even in the presidential election, anywhere from 2 out of 5 to more than half people don't vote. And these are for issues that affect all of us and that we mostly have opinions about. But the vote for that has been fluctuating between 48 and 58%. And in the local election, sometimes it's abominable. And that does bother me because those votes do matter. I've never missed one. I'm kind of proud of that. I wish more people at least put it a little higher on their list.
Let's keep talking politics. You also had a column, I love them all. They always make me stop and think and say, which I think is valuable.
I appreciate that.
They do. You talked about Bill and Hillary Clinton, Billary, as they're called now, and you said, he's getting involved. He's going to be part of the campaign we're hearing now. It's really not going to help. And you said, that there are really some things about Bill and Hillary Clinton that really are bothering you.
Well, what bothers me is that I think this is an opportunity to look at Hillary as Hillary. She is the first significant female women's candidate who could win, not the first women's candidate, but the first real woman with an opportunity to be the president of the United States. Let's view her, good and bad, on her own merits. I can certainly expect Bill Clinton to be involved. He's a tremendous fundraiser. But if he becomes prominent, that's a distraction, I think, from looking at Hillary Clinton as her own candidate.
And I guess going along that line of the distraction, you had a great quotable line to me. When Bill Clinton speaks, a lot of people see Pinocchio at the podium.
And I've been told that a lot of people also like what he did as president. So it's a double-edged sword. But again, it's a different dynamic, a different variable than we've had with any other candidate really ever. I'm fascinated by it politically, but I do think if we try to look at these candidates individually, that can take away from some of that focus.
You also mentioned, and we talked about this a little bit before the tape started rolling, but Bill Clinton coming out and kind of moaning and groaning about Hillary and the email controversy, and what a strange, odd mess that is. But, complaining and basically saying, stop picking on her. And you said, really?
Well, this is, as I wrote, if anybody knows the hardball aspect of politics, it's the Clintons, and they're good at it. The same week Bill was whining about Hillary's campaign was finding things wrong with Bernie Sanders because he was moving up in the polls. It's a rough and tumble sport, and nobody knows that better than the Clintons.
Let's shift gears. You have often written about sports. You wrote sports for many years exclusively, but you take a much broader view in terms of what is sports, what is competition. And I know you wrote about it was centered on a request by some groups in England to be recognized by, I guess, their official sports board, I guess it is. It really determines what a sport is.
Well, and it determines what sports get funding as well.
Chess, cheerleading, and bridge. Are they sports?
Well, I'm a chess player, and we're passionate. We're almost violent about it. Not really. But cheerleading, I can make a case for cheerleading as a sport. There's some danger involved now, and it's an important issue in terms of safety. It's also an important issue, I think, with all of these, and bridge was the issue in England. I think all these people really wanted some respect. I think most of them don't care if it's called a sport or not. They want to be recognized for doing something well, and they probably want some of the funding as well. So cheerleading, I think, is a sport. I think there should be safety regulations. I think there should be quality equipment in the high schools. That's why I think that's important. Chess and bridge, as long as you don't, treat us as a bunch of nerds, then we're okay with whatever you want to call us.
But you've talked about that before and written columns, and you've been very kind to our As Schools Match Wits program, academic competition. And I mean, so often there are kids that, we honor the athletes in so many ways, so many times, and great. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of perseverance to get up, go to practice every day. But the kids that aren't the great athletes do a lot of pretty good things in the schools too, and you want that recognized.
Well, first of all, we are nerds, to correct myself, and we don't mind being called that if it's done affectionately. Yes, I covered high school sports for years. I covered sports for 30 years. I have no problem with giving credit to the people who are very good at it, but I also think there should be room to give credit for the people who are good at other things, especially in the academic field. That's why I think Schools Match Wits is such an asset and such a tremendous, valuable program, because it gives that opportunity to showcase that type of skill. Whereas most of the time we just look at the ball fields and the scores, and that's fine. But it shouldn't be the only thing that we look at.
But it's, not to be devil's advocate, but it's so natural. I mean, I guess you can go and be in the audience at a Schools Match Wits, and boy, I sure don't want to knock that program, because a lot of great kids. One who lives in my house used to be on it. I know some people in your home, right?
My sister was a superstar.
There you go, exactly. So, I mean, there's a connection there. But it's tough to, get folks excited sometimes about the chess club or the academic competition team, because you can't go out Friday night and sit and cheer and have a beer and watch.
It's a different type of competition, but it is a competition. It is a challenge. I didn't try out for Schools Match Wits, and I regret that. And the reason I didn't was it wasn't cool. That's a lousy reason, but for a kid, it's a big reason. So I want, especially the adults, to encourage their kids to appreciate talent in all areas, including those.
One of the columns you wrote this past summer, and I remember reading it and saying, I wish the Connecting Point season hadn't just ended, because I would love to get around in and talk about this. Here you are. I'm going to bring it back. Remember when sports was fun? It was the middle of Deflategate. Sorry, I had planned not to even say that word today. We were talking about steroids. There was all kinds of stuff going on. Remember when sports was fun?
And that's one of the reasons that I shifted into more of a political situation. I still cover sports at times, but it's not an escape anymore. You're seeing real-world problems in what is supposed to be an entertainment vehicle, and that's not very entertaining to me. We know more than we ever did, but I'm not sure that's a good thing. It certainly makes it more difficult to enjoy them as athletic contests.
Was it better in some ways when we didn't know as much, and the
think
athletes
so.
were just heroes, and we didn't care if they went out drinking after or whatever they were doing?
It was a lot easier for us. We didn't wrestle with the issues. We were blissfully ignorant, and there is ignorance involved in that, but there's also bliss. And if you want to enjoy sports, I think sometimes it's easier when you don't know all the skeletons.
Well, Ron Chimelis, everybody pick up the Republican or check out Mass Live, read Viewpoint, and check them out here every month on Connecting Point.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming in, sir.